Instant reaction time to the San Francisco 49ers game against the Titans. You got some good, you got some not so good, you got a little bit of everything in this one. But let's start off with some of the good. We'll talk about some things we maybe would have liked a little bit better on in a second. But the first drive, fantastic. Drove all the way down the field. Jordan Mason punches it in for a touchdown. The best part about the Jordan Mason touchdown was Dominic Puni, who was, looked like Jordan was slowly pushing the pile, and it was Puni who just rammed right through the back of the pile and just pushed J.P. Mason in for the end zone, or in for the touchdown, I should say. But the thing is, early looks at Dominic Puni, I don't know how he's not your starting right guard moving forward. Obviously, with Spencer Burford being banged up with his hand, he'll be out for a couple more weeks. But just everything that we've seen from Dominic Puni, not only in training camp, but you're seeing it translate to the field, is he's just consistent. And that's what you're looking for offensive linemen. It's not all about flash. It's not all about pancakes and decleaters. And you need to be consistent. Play in and play out. And ever since Puni has stepped in, that is exactly what he has done. I feel like he's going to be your week one starter at right guard. We'll have to see what the 49ers do in that situation, but as it stands, feels like he's going to be that guy. We had some interesting things on the offensive line. Obviously, no Jalen Moore. You had Nick Sakel get run at center. I thought Nick Sakel held up pretty well, running as the starter with the 49ers. So a big difference for him from last year when he played in that Raiders preseason game, and it was a tough day in the office. So big improvements from Nick Sakel. He might be earning a roster spot right now as we speak. I thought Eric Saubert looked really good today. He's clearly the best blocking tight end, not named George Kittle on this roster, so that alone could have him as your tight end too. I really like Braden Willis, but we all know what it is. You got to be able to block, especially as a tight end too. So he might be the clubhouse leader for that position. We saw D. Winters flying around. D. Winters showing shades of Dre Greenlaw with that tackle on the goal line of Will Levis. He was running around making plays. Now, I would say this of D. Winters, wasn't perfect. He had a little bit of an injury scare, came back into the game. I think you can see he gets a little bit over his skis a little bit, and he can over pursue or take, not the best angles. So D. Winters still looks like a star in the making, but I think a little bit more refinement for him will be one of the main things that they're talking about on tape with his coaches when they review this film. Overall, I thought it's very promising what D. Winters is showing out there. He looks like he's going to be a guy who will play a lot of snaps for the 49ers. Just got to keep working and refining. Nothing wrong with that. If we want to talk about some guys that maybe struggled a little bit, I thought Ambry definitely struggled today. I think everyone would agree with that. And unfortunately for Ambry Thomas, he got carted off the field at halftime. He's dealing with a forearm injury. He was ruled out pretty quickly. So it might be the end of the road for Ambry regardless of injury. He's just never lived up to the third round draft pick that he was selected at, and it's just been a really tough go for Ambry. So this might finally be the last time that we really see Ambry. The offense as it went on is a little disjointed, a lot of punts, wasn't really stringing together much rhythm. An interesting note about the offense is that this is the first game that Kyle Shanahan has not called the plays for ever since he's taken over as head coach since 2017. Every preseason, every regular season, every postseason game, Kyle Shanahan has called the plays. He did not call the plays tonight. He had passed that duty off to Clay Kubiak, who is the passing game coordinator, I believe, is his official title. So interesting. I like that. I think Kyle needs to let go a little bit and maybe give some other opportunities to some other guys. Maybe, allowed Kyle to view the game from a different perspective that he's not normally used to. So, could be an interesting development in that regard. But there were also more players who looked good on the day. I thought Kalia Davis definitely showed out. There was one particular drive where he was in the backfield on multiple plays, one where he had to stop, another one where he totally disrupted the play and his teammates made a stop. So Kalia Davis looking strong, and you want that. You want to see that from Kalia Davis. Malik Mustafa, a lot of early hype on him on camp, and yeah, it looked good out there today. He had that phenomenal stop on fourth down. Kyle Shanahan throws a challenge flag, and he just came up, delivered a textbook tackle, and the energy that he brought after. You just saw the hype. You saw it all. Malik Mustafa, great showing in his first preseason game. I thought Brandon Allen actually looked really good. Brandon Allen was slinging it all over the field. I thought it wasn't perfect, but I thought for the most part, he's seemingly solidifying himself as the quarterback 2. Josh Dobbs looks nice. Dobbs had that really nice touchdown where he scrambled to the corner and elevated, got some airtime for the astronaut, and was able to get a nice touchdown. But I do think you can see the command that Allen has within the offense. So it does feel like Brandon Allen is going to be your quarterback 2, and I don't think there's really all that much wrong with that. You had Renardo Green, who had a fumble recovery. I think not only did Renardo Green look pretty solid, he wasn't perfect, still plenty of room to improve for him as well. But Rocky Sin looked pretty solid. He played almost the whole game, so I thought that was promising. It's going to be kind of fun to be able to go back into the tape, watch the film, kind of get a better idea of who played well. Obviously, these are just our first initial reactions based on watching the broadcast. I'm sure there's going to be more things that are going to pop once we get into the tape. Just a reminder, it's preseason. We don't care about wins, losses, all those things. I will say special teams still look a little shaky. A little shaky on special teams. They probably gave up one of the biggest returns on the new kickoff rule of the entire opening preseason stuff. So we'll get that figured out. But, overall, nothing overly concerning. Barely any starters played. Tons of backups. So I'm not really concerned about it. Like, even with the starting defense for the 49ers, which was backups, was going up against the starting offense of the Titans. So overall, not bad. I know people are going to not like the way it looked. It wasn't like we were a well-oiled machine all the way throughout. Of course, plenty of things to clean up, get better at. But good stuff on tape for a lot of guys, and excited to get into it myself. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.